Cool. Dan George with Lewie Edmondson. Lewie, nice to speak to you. Down here in the heart of Southampton for the final preparation for your training camp. Talk to us, how are you feeling? Dan Azeez at the Copper Box, October 19th, not far away now.
That's it. I mean, we're back where it all started. I remember walking in this gym when I was 11 years old, and it doesn't feel too long ago. You know, it's the years have flown by. But yeah, this fight that's coming up is what dreams are made of. When I first walked in this gym when I was 11 years old, I've dreamt about these nights that's coming up, and it's not too far away now. 2 weeks away, so I'm very, very much looking forward to it.
Got to ask you as well, Joel McIntyre, your last opponent, he can bang, can't he? I saw his last fight, he flattened someone on the parade pier down in Portsmouth. Makes your win look even more impressive, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, anyone that knows Joel knows that Joel can seriously punch, especially with that backhand that he's got. And I did take one in the sixth, took it clean on the chin, so I got chin checked and we're all good. But yeah, Joel can definitely punch.
In terms of activity, would you have liked to have been more active since that fight? You've got this big opportunity coming up, but would you have liked to have a bit more activity in your career since?
I would like to have been a bit more active, as all fighters would, but everything happens for a reason, and sometimes maybe it wasn't meant to be. You could have been more active and got injured and missed out on this big opportunity. I've stayed active, I've been away sparring and been in the mix with some great fighters, so I've stayed sharp, I've stayed on top of my game, and I'll be more than ready on the night.
Dan Azeez, someone that you're very familiar with. You've fought before in the amateurs. You won that fight, and you sparred countless times. I know I've seen whenever you've been preparing for a lot of your fights, you're often with Dan Azeez sparring. Is this a bit of a weird one coming up against someone you're so familiar with?
Do you know what it is? It's boxing. It's nothing personal, is it? I like Dan. He's a good fighter. I respect him. Former British champion, former European champion. Been involved in some big fights and some big nights. So I fully respect him as a fighter and as a man, but it's my time now. It's my time to shine, and October the 19th is going to be a big statement incoming.
Tell me about some of your preparations for this fight. I've seen you've been sparring Willie Hutchinson, someone that was just fighting at Wembley Stadium recently. How's your preparation been, and have you been in with some more experienced guys?
I mean, I've had a great camp. Been a long camp. I was preparing for Ben Whitaker, obviously signed a contract for Ben Whitaker. That never fight materialised for whatever reason. But no fault of ours. I've had a long camp. I was away in Marbella, I was sparring Willie Hutchinson. I've had a great camp. Flew an Italian guy over, I've been sparring him. I put the work in. There's no stones been left unturned. I'm fully prepared, and I'm ready to put on a show.
Go into as much detail as you want to about the Ben Whitaker situation. Of course, we even saw you announcing via a poster on Instagram that you were going to be on this card on October 12th to fight Ben Whitaker. It's just another, frustrating saga in this kind of long, never-ending kind of thing that just keeps going on, isn't it?
It's crazy, really, because we was told we was fighting. We signed the contract to fight. Money was sorted. Everything was sorted. We thought we was fighting. 2 o'clock in the morning, I woke up to go to the toilet and I saw a poster of the whole card being announced, and I wasn't on there. It was crazy, really. It's the ups and downs of the sport, but it is what it is. Everything happens for a reason. We're here now. We're in a big fight live on Sky Sports. We're fighting Dan Azeez, and that's where we're at.
And ultimately, just with Whitaker, it came down to he didn't sign his side of the deal, and you weren't aware of that, basically.
Yeah. And his dad even messaged me saying, listen, I want my son to silence you, but I can't force him to fight you. So whatever that means, take what you want from it.
I mean, as much as going from a Saudi card to fighting at the Copper Box is, it's not as glamorous as you would have hoped. It's still a massive fight, one of the biggest, I'd say, opportunity in your career in terms of opponent. How excited are you still for that opportunity?
100%. A fight's a fight at the end of the day, whether it's in this gym, no matter where it is, whether it's in Saudi Arabia, Copper Box, wherever it is, it's a big fight. Dan Azeez has done a lot more in the sport than Ben Whitaker. In the pro ranks, as we know, professional game's completely different to amateur boxing. And a fight's a fight at the end of the day, big fight. I believe it's co-main event in the Copper Box, and I'm very excited.
When we've spoken before, you said domestic dust-ups are the biggest thing, in your opinion, in this sport, and this is, one hell of one. Does that excite you even more?
Of course, and it's like everyone wants to see it. 2 British light heavyweights friends or not friends, going at it. What more could you want? Copper box, Saturday night. I'm pretty sure the beers will be flowing in the crowd. 2 light heavyweights, going for gold. It's good. It's what people want to see.
What have you made of Dan's career? Obviously, that very big fight against Joshua Buatsi. One of them would go on to then, like Joshua Buatsi has, fight at Wembley Stadium to challenge for a world title eventually. You know, Bivol and Beterbiev are just in another kind of world of their own at the moment. But it was a massive fight. One would go on and one would, you know, have to rebuild their career. And Dan Azeez, I was at Selhurst Park when he drew with Hrgović Sepp, and it was meant to be a big thing for him. This is, you know, where he re-kicks on his career, especially at his age as well. It wasn't meant to be. Did you watch that fight, and what did you make of it?
Yeah, I've watched it. We've watched it and gone through a few things, and it's like, listen, when the home fighter gets a draw at the end of the day, it's a loss, in my opinion. I feel like, yeah, Dan's been in a lot of hard spars, a lot of hard fights. He's 35. I believe he's slowing down a bit, but at the same time, he's going to give the best account of himself because he knows this is his last chance, really, to come put on a good performance. And after the 19th, when we're victorious, I feel like that'd be the end of Dan Azeez.
When I spoke to him, he said that he's coming into this fight with dangerous intentions, but he's very aware that this is your world title fight. This is your shot, you know, in effect. If you win this one, it can propel you on massively. And he said he'd have to be aware and very, you know, wary of that. How much animosity and motivation have you got going into this?
I was preparing for Ben Whitaker in Saudi, and then now I'm preparing for Dan Azeez. So I've been preparing for the highest level for a long time now. So for this big moment, I'm very aware that this is the end for him. If he doesn't pull out something here, which he's not going to, it's the end for him. And he's very aware that if I pull it off here, when I pull it off here, there's big things happening for me. So it's all to play for on both sides.
And as well, from the point of view of how frustrating it's been for you the last few years, do you really feel that if you win this fight, then those things will start to just become a thing of the past and the fights will just keep coming?
100%. When I go and put on a performance here, like I'm going to put on, and people see me and what I can do, it's people haven't seen a glimpse of me yet, not a little bit of me yet, because all the opponents have been negative, or they've been hit and they've been negative. So we'll see. When a fighter comes to fight, you're going to see the best of Lewie Edmondson, and after that, people's going to give me my flowers, my props that I deserve, and I'm pretty sure there'll be big things coming off of this.
You fought Dan Azeez in the amateurs. You won that fight in the amateurs. Talk to us about what those spars have been like. You've been able to become so familiar with each other. Is that an advantage to you?
I think, listen, amateur boxing and professional boxing is completely different. It's 2 different sports, you know, it's tennis and badminton. It's completely different. But, we sparred a lot as a pro in my early days of my career. So I feel like he hasn't changed much, as he's a lot older than me. And I feel like he hasn't changed much. What you see with Dan is what you get. Whereas me, I've added many, many layers to my game. I've got stronger. I've filled into my man strength. I'm a lot stronger. I'm a different man to when we sparred, to be honest. And I've got a lot more layers to my game now. And this is what you're going to see on the 19th.
What are we hoping for? 10 rounds, and Dan said that there might be something on the line, but he's not too sure at this stage. Are you expecting anything to be on the line? Maybe a Commonwealth title?
I don't think nothing's on the line, no. I don't think it is, no. They've said this and they said a few bits and bobs, but I don't think there is, no.
Sure. And, you know, this fight, it's, like you said, a co-main event. You've been on, you know, the last fight, I think you were on the YouTube stream, and then you've been on some of the earlier fights in the card. How excited are you to be, like you said, hopefully a co-main event on this card?
Listen, obviously it's the biggest night of my boxing career ever. But this is where I thrive. National finals in the amateurs, that's where I thrive. When I'm up against it, that's where I thrive. That's where you see the best of Lewie Edmondson. And listen, it's going to be great co-main event, live on Sky, all the lights, the glitz and the glamour. But listen, all of that's irrelevant really, because it's going to be me and him in the ring boxing, that's it. So it's irrelevant.
Tell me about your relationship with Billy Joe Saunders, because I was watching on a radio station the other day when they were talking about boxing and Ben Shalom was on the show, and Billy Joe actually called up and kind of stuck it on. It was Jim White on the show. He stuck it on him saying, ask Ben Shalom this question. does it, is it nice to have that kind of backing from someone so influential?
Yeah, of course it is. Billy Joe is a very good friend and advises me through every step of my career, and not just through fights, through training, through everything, the ups, the downs, the sparring, the fights, everything. So it's very good, and I feel like I've learned so much by being around him. Obviously when he was fighting I was around him a lot, and yeah, so it's brought me on so much to have somebody with what he's done in the sport around me very much.
Yeah, and this fight as well is just another exciting fight for the South on the card. Michael McKinson's fighting for the IBO title also against Tulani and Bengay. There's some really exciting fighters just around the South in general at the moment. Is it nice to be part of that kind of generation of exciting boxers on the South?
100%, and it's good. Obviously Ryan Garner had a good win not too long ago over Archie Sharp. Obviously Michael McKinson a big fight. Now I'm in a big fight, and it's good, and that's what we're in boxing for, And a lot of these fighters, they're not in boxing for the big nights, the big fights. They just want to sit in a pub and tell everyone I'm a pro boxer, really. And really, they don't want to take these proper fights, So I'm glad to be part of it, and you'll see a lot more of it.
And how does this fight go, Lewie?
Lewie Edmondson win.
Bye.
We'll see. We don't want to give too much away, but we'll see. He's
Looking
a tough man, Dan, and we respect him, but there's only one win on that night.